Well, glory be and mercy me, we've done it yet again. Here we are, regular walk around the graveyard. I've been gone for a little while. I went out to Manitoba to a funeral for my uncle. Turned into a big family gathering. Had some lovely conversations with all my friends and family. Haven't seen it. Some of these family members I haven't ever seen. I've never met in my life, and so it was really, really great. And it's really life affirming when you get in with all your family again. It really lets you plant your feet on the ground, and there's something about being close to your family members. But there was also an interesting phenomenon that occurred that was somewhat affirmed by a poll that came out from Abacus Data. Abacus Data asked a bunch of Canadians, hey, do you trust your media? Hey guys, do you trust your media? Right? I genuinely think that if you have a brain in your head, right, that if you're walking around the world going, oh hey, and asking yourself the question, oh hey, do I trust my media? Your answer should probably be like, no. Why would you ever, for any reason whatsoever, trust Western media right now? It's all owned by corporate owners, right? Like the National Post was literally started by Conrad Black, right? Corporate criminal Conrad Black, and is now owned by oligarchs here in Canada. The Globe and Mail is owned by literally the richest man in Canada. Toronto Star is owned by Doug Ford supporters, right? Why would you ever, for any reason, trust or believe anything your media has to say instead of being deeply skeptical of their position, which is obviously make sure you do all the work while they do nothing important whatsoever, right? Turns out, according to Abacus Data, 56% of Canadians, 56% of Canadians answer that they still trust their media. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all, right? And of course, Abacus Data is reporting this. It's like, oh, critical message. 44% of Canadians don't trust their media. Oh. My response, of course, being, that means 56% of Canadians still do. I don't get it, guys. But it does explain why there is no leftist movement in Canada. Because when the poll breaks down, well, who are the people who are saying that they trust the media? Turns out that the further to the left on the spectrum you go, right, NDP, Liberal, right, the more gullible you become, essentially, right? It really explains why people are like, yeah, the NDP Liberal coalition makes an awful lot of sense because I trust my media and my media says it's totally fine, right? Like, oh, we're gonna get dental care for sure this time because they said it this time. We're definitely getting dental care this time, not like the last 20 times they said it, right? Like, we're just, there just does come a point where I just have to say that we are simply gullible, right? And the reason why we get like a truckers convoy on the right who are actually gathering en masse and doing the thing that I recommend we do, which is surround the halls of power, take to the streets and protest. Have you noticed how the whole place is lighting up like a candle? Have you noticed how inflation is destroying the place? Have you noticed how the whole society is coming apart at the seams? And the best that our loser leadership can do is stand up and say, yeah, we're looking into it, right? This is the best that they're ever going to do. They are just going to sacrifice us to the capitalist death cult, who for some reason we continue to believe. It's a shocking position to find yourself in, especially, like, do we need to go through the litany, right? All of the wars the media has constantly lied to us about, including the ongoing Ukrainian war, right? They don't tell us about the Donbass. They don't tell us about what's going on inside of Ukraine. No, Zelensky's a hero, right? Hey guys, Zelensky's a hero. We're definitely supposed to believe that. And if you say anything to the otherwise, you get demonetized and taken off the channel, right? Really, real straightforward, real simple stuff. But forget about all the wars, like the Iraq War, the Afghanistan War, the Syrian War, the Libyan War. Forget about all the wars that they lie about, right? How about climate change? Remember how for like literally decades they were like, I don't know, the science doesn't seem to be in. The science doesn't seem to be in, you guys. You know, here's 7,000 PhD professors from places like NASA and Oxford saying, and Harvard saying that, yeah, we studied it and it's a thing. But you know, here's an oil executive and he's like, I don't know, guys. And that's the same. That's the same. Right? This is what we believe this. And we believe this. I don't know what can be said to a nation like this anymore. Like, we're just going to believe what we're told it looks like. It just looks like as this place burns down, as the homelessness spikes, as everything falls into entropy, because we're sacrificing everything for the wealth of a billionaire class that doesn't give a fuck about us at all, and in fact just exploits us for their money and profits. We're just going to go along being like, yeah, but they said. Yeah, but they said. At this stage in the game, guys, it's just get ready. Get ready for yourself, right? Buy extra bags of rice, because the food prices are going to go crazy, right? Get into a position where your rent is as low as it possibly can, because the rent prices are going to go crazy, right? I don't think that Ford is going to think that the rent controls that exist here in Ontario are sacred or sacrosanct, right? Like we're living in a literal death cult, and 56% of the population believes what they're told by said cult. Like, I simply don't know how to articulate, and I don't know how to get over this point. It means that more than half of the people you talk to are gullible, absurd morons. And that's literally how it is. That's literally how it is. It does mean that when we start getting into conversations, we're going to have the lightest possible touch. Right? You can't just bully your way into the conversation when you're talking to someone who's this detached, gullible, and stupid, who's actually going to believe like flagrant, overwhelming, known liars, right? And if you're one of these people listening to me right now who actually does think the media is at all credible or has there's any reason to believe them whatsoever, why? It's staggering to watch that it's the uneducated Albertans on the right who have at least stood up and said, hey, this sounds like a bunch of bullshit. This sounds like a bunch of bullshit. I think that whatever I'm being told by my media is total shit. And of course, their solutions to said problems are equally as dumb, right? Get rid of the CBC, that kind of dumb shit, because the best thing to do is to get rid of the state propaganda network and leave us only with corporate propaganda, right? That's the best way to do it. Or just straight up do more capitalism. Do capitalism harder, guys. That'll solve the problems, right? The way to solve the problems generated by the capitalist death cult is to do capitalism even harder, because this isn't real capitalism, this is crony capitalism, because crony capitalism isn't just capitalism, right? We have to surround the halls of power. I am helping to organize a protest August 1st, if you're in the city of Toronto, August 1st, Bloor and Bedford, 4 p.m. We're going to shut down the street in a pale attempt to try to get these conservatives to even live up to the meager 5% increase for disabled people. You're never going to hear about it on the media. You're never going to hear about it anywhere else. You're never going to hear about any of this stuff, right? We could have hundreds of thousands of people surrounding the halls of power. They're not going to report on it. But 56% of us are like, oh yeah, that's great. If we don't actually surround the halls of power, if we don't actually get out and do something, if we don't actually admit that this entire system has been co-opted and purchased and bought, if we still keep gullibly believing our media, gullibly believing what we're told by a group of oligarchs who have every single reason to lie to us, then we are just doomed, right? We are just doomed. I hope that we wake up one day. I hope that we come out of it. I hope that we recognize that institutions owned by billionaires and politicians bought by billionaires shouldn't be trusted. I hope that we get there. And we need to get there a lot faster than this. Because it's embarrassing more than anything. Because it's embarrassing more than anything. Because we are quantum beings, walking around in quantum energy. These oligarchs have gone psychopathic and are attempting to destroy this plane of reality, right? And when we leave it, we're going to ask ourselves, if we have the possibility to do so, why did I sit on my ass and do nothing? Why was I believing these complete evil psychopathic liars? Why did I just open the newspapers that they fund and operate and own? Why did I watch the media that they obviously use in order to manufacture consent into the populace? Why did I just keep believing it? It's a good question. Like, share, subscribe, guys. Turns out the media that you all trust is removing people from these platforms, shadow banning them, right? Doing all kinds of stuff. We've got more and more people getting removed off of Twitter, off of YouTube, off of Twitch, off of all these platforms, right? It's an era of neo-McCarthyism. That is what we are looking at, and they are doing it because they know that we are telling the truth, and they are not. And they're scared because 44% of us have woken up to the fact. The other 56, still out to lunch. Still out to lunch. Please consider supporting leftist voices. I have a Patreon down below, gets you into the Discord. We are organizing the revolution. That is what we are doing, and I will continue to do, because this entire system has delegitimized itself. And if you don't realize that, you're just a gullible rube. Keep going along with it. Sell your life for nothing. Revolt, rebel, repent. Good luck. We're gonna need it.